Hey, crypto brothers. It is brothers, I'm assuming. There's no women in crypto, just full of sad, lonely men like myself, and assuming a lot of you guys. Now, I'm going to start doing a series of videos on the tokens that I feel can do really well in the coming bull market, hoping that there is a coming bull market. It has so far been the worst um, a bear market in the history of crypto. I've been in this space since 2013. I started in crypto before I moved on to stocks and other areas. And there has never been a cycle where the altcoin, the Bitcoin dominance has stayed this elevated for this long. So, and I think this has a lot to do with, firstly, the high dilution tokens that came out. There's so many tokens like tier and all that rubbish that came out that diluted the hell out of the space. And also, I think AI, the people just moved on to AI. The people that like me that made money in crypto also moved on to AI and made money in AI. But I think now, as AI reaches that bubble, people say it's already, already a massive bubble. It is already a massive bubble, but I don't think the bubble's ready to burst yet. As the build out continues. However, I think as Bitcoin bottoms, then the money is going to start coming back into crypto. Now, there's all just guesswork. Okay, it might not come into crypto. Crypto could be dead. Who knows? But I'm going to take a bet that we do have an altcoin season. Okay, we do have a cycle again. And if I do, these are the tokens that I would like to be invested in. The first one I want to talk about is pump. And I'm going to go for some of the fundamentals, and then we can have a look at the technicals. Okay, both are as important as each other in crypto. But when it comes to actually picking coins within a bear market, you really want to dollar cost average the fundamentally strong tokens at good prices. Now, pump. What is pump? So pump is the largest meme platform, generation platform in crypto. And they make money based on the tokens that is created on their platform and the trading that is done on their platform. And we'll talk about this a little bit later as well. And they also burn 50% of that revenue. So they buy back their own token and they burn them. And we're going to have a look at some of those stats in a second. Now, let's have a look at the market cap. The market cap of Pump is 1.6 billion, and the fully diluted valuation is 2.27. And if there are people that don't understand what this means, this market cap is based on the circulating supply of the tokens that are currently in the market, but it can be diluted to 2.27 billion. To be fair, it's not that bad. It sounds pretty, expensive for crypto, but in relation to the revenue that they're making, it's actually not that bad. It's like, even with the fully diluted valuation, it's like 3-4 times sales. Obviously, we shouldn't use, stock fundamentals when we're measuring crypto, because crypto is something else. But I still think it's a good value, and I'll explain why. Let's now have a look at their annualized fees that generated. In a bear market, they have done 458 million in revenue. Okay, that is really impressive in a bear market. Imagine what they could do in a bull market, right? So now let's look at what is actually happening. So if you look at the pump right now, if you look at the 7-day revenue, it's done 10 billion. If you look at Hyperliquid, it's done 6 billion. Now, let's not forget cards. I'm going to do a video about this. This is a beast as well, and it's done 2.52 billion, and this could be another monster. But let's just focus on pump for right now. So if you look at the market cap difference between Hype, so if you look at Hype, okay, which is a perp dex, its market cap is fully diluted is 56 billion. Okay, so it's 25x, what pump is. So if you look at pump, it is in relation to Hype, it is really, really undervalued, and now it's actually doing more revenue, which is crazy. And they use that revenue, 50% of it. I believe Hype does 100%. They burn 100% of it, but pump burns 50%. I actually think what they should have done was actually buy other assets. I'm not sure if it's a legal thing to do, but they should have used that money, the revenue, to buy other assets in the stock market or collectibles or anything like that, and create a treasury. But they bought their own tokens and burnt that. So but you can see as they've been burning these tokens. So from this is just 1 year. They have burnt 425 million worth of pump tokens. Okay, now look at the price in relation. The price has gone down as the buybacks and burns have increased. This is a really, really bullish chart, and I would love to see what happens with this in a bull market. Okay, this is one of the reasons why I'm so bullish on this token. I don't think there's, and let's go back to this revenue generating crypto. So this is all of crypto and what generates the most revenue. Look at Pump. Pump is third. It is one below Circle, which is a stable coin issuer. It's crazy. So I think it's doing amazing numbers. And I think people have recently, and I've been talking about Pump for a very, very long time. I'm saying again and again, look at these numbers. Pump is, has taken over hype. It's one to be looking at. But I think recently people have started to catch on. So let's quickly look at some of the technicals. Now that's the Z-scaler. That is not what we want to see. So let's look at Pump. Where is Pump? Pump, dump. Pump, dump. Here we go. Pump. So now we started. I mean, the ICO was around 0.23. So this is where the ICO was, right? And this is when all the insiders got in, right? Around about 0. I don't know exactly what it is, but it's around this area. And as you can see, we've probably just gone over that now. Okay, so we start around this area. We had a massive pump up to 0.009, and then as the bear market continued, we dumped all the way down to 0.0011, and recently we have had a nice pump, no pun intended, up around 148%. Okay, now we've had kind of a bear moon, so we should hopefully see a nice little retracement so we can add. I've already been dollar cost averaging into a really, really nice position, but I think long term, and this chart's not going to tell you anything. There's just not enough price history to tell you anything, but I believe that 0.0011 is probably the bottom. Now, who knows? If Bitcoin goes to 45k or 40k, whatever, and it hits those low fib levels, maybe Pump dumps even lower. But at those prices, if the fundamentals remain the same and the numbers still look good and they're still buying back their token and burning, I am going into this even heavier. Right now, I have, as much as I want. So I'm actually hoping that we go lower so I can keep buying. But I don't know if that's going to happen. Okay? Now, let's look at a price prediction. Now, I shouldn't be doing this, right? Price predictions never work out. Crypto is really risky. And also, invest in stocks first, right? And put maybe 1% into crypto. You do not invest anything more than you can afford to lose in crypto. Okay, most of this stuff will go to zero, so be really, really careful and do not trust some schmuck on YouTube telling you to buy something. So do your own research on this stuff. Now, but as an exercise, let's see if we can predict what the price of Pump could be. Now, if we take, and the easiest comparison will be to compare it to Hype. Okay, Hype at the current price, what would happen if Pump reached that same market cap? And to be fair, that isn't unrealistic because Pump is doing more numbers now. And what could Pump achieve in a bull market? So I don't think that's a really unrealistic take. So if we do that, the price will be 0.03, which would be around about a 12x. Okay, so let's see if that happens. I'm not saying it will happen. It's a fun exercise. So please don't put your grandma's pension in here. It's all fun and games. If you've got a little to spare and you're happy to lose it, pick what you want to pick, but I'm going to be picking one of my picks is going to be pump. I'm going to bring you some more tokens as the days and weeks go by, when I can be bothered to do videos. These days I really can't be bothered. But yeah, so do your own research and have a great day, my friends.